Welcome back to the grind for some Crossbones videos. Now, I'm actually very excited about Crossbones. I was surprised with how easy he was to play with the right synergies and how fun and effective he was. We're just going to show this first fight against Winter Soldier. Now, in order to get this fancy little overlay in the bottom here that I've been messing around with, it's not quite as easy to record and voice over these videos, and so to make the timing and pauses and slowdowns, it gets very challenging. So let me know what your thoughts are on this video, if you notice much of a difference. Also, for me, the video looks a bit more blurry, but let me know on your end if it turns out blurry or if it looks about the same. But you can see what we're doing with Crossbones so far is when you hit into the opponent, there's a chance to get a Fury. You also get Furies from your special 1, and when you dash back and go into overrun, you refresh your Furies and add extra Furies. You can pause your Furies with heavy attacks. If you heavy attack after a special attack and punish them within the right timing, you can do it without spending a Fury, but otherwise it does cost 1 Fury to refresh the rest. You can see there we went from 28 to 27, and then we started gaining more Furies when we attacked in and through our special 1. And we do have a few synergies going here. We have Odin to increase our potency of the Furies, we have Mangog to increase the duration of our Furies, and we have Hitmonkey to allow us to get Contempt, which makes the Mangog synergy work not just against heroes, but also against any champion that is a non-villain champion. So I did want to highlight here, you can see with the Awakened ability, you can purify debuffs. So I purified the Poison and Bleed from Suicide Masteries, and I wanted to just highlight in this fight, we're letting him hit us so that he gains power before I kill him. But then when he throws his special 1, he can build up charges of Incinerates on you. And we're going to see that you can shrug some of those off. But once you shrug one off, the next debuff within a certain time period gets less likely to be shrugged off. But you can see it's a pretty effective shrug ability. You definitely want him at max sig, but all the gameplay we're doing aside from this is going to be unawakened, and he's an amazing champion unawakened as well. This first fight has no real specific nodes on it, but one thing I want to highlight is Crossbones is much more effective and easy to play when you can counter heavy attacks and special attacks very easy with your own heavy attack to allow you to very easily and frequently pause the duration of your Furies so that you can extend them long enough until you can go back into overrun. You see that timer that was in the top there, now it's gray, and that's on cooldown, and once it goes away, then we can dash back, hold block, and refresh and add a few more Furies. And now it's yellow, and there you're going to actually have decreased, the opponent has slightly decreased combat power rate. Actually, I think Crossbones gets increased combat power rate. But you can see that fight ended pretty quick in about 32 hits, and that was a variant level opponent. Now we're going in against a Spider-Man with Spry and Ghast. So if the opponent evades, they'll place a fatigue on you, and if you have a fatigue on you when you attack the opponent, you take a bunch of damage back. However, we're going to first do a few hits into a parried opponent so they can't evade, and now that we have 1 Fury up, we're going to dash back and hold block to go into overrun and get some Furies on us. And then we're going to never have to worry about him evading at all, because we will always be able to have 4 Furies. Each Fury against an opponent with Contempt, which is a hero, or if you have the Hitmonkey, or I believe it's, there's another one as well, another mercenary that you can use to apply it to all non-villain champions. And that means that you have, with only 4 Furies, you can lock down ability accuracy 100%. If you don't have the Contempt, if you're against a villain, or you don't have the synergy to apply it to all non-villain champions, then it will take 5 Furies to get 100%. Now this is another evade matchup. As you can see at the start, we're going to attack in, and again, we have Hitmonkey here. So Moon Knight is not a hero, but with Hitmonkey on the team, we can still get the Contempt, meaning that we can get the bonuses along with those Furies and the Mangog synergy to allow us to have increased duration. So you can see we're not getting any Furies at first, and we're showing how frequent he is evading. And now, once we get our Furies up, he's not going to evade anymore for the rest of the fight. And he is a bit more challenging to counter his special attacks with your own heavy attacks, unless you can push him to a special 2. But you can still see, you know, we're reparrying so that we can get our heavies in to pause those Furies to allow us enough time to then refresh our Furies once the cooldown is over. And if you can stack up a decent number of Furies, you can start to hit pretty hard. And you'll notice we're not doing any crits, which is a unique utility that we'll talk about a bit later in this clip, but the damage is not bad, even if you can't get the Furies up that high. And this fight, I think, ends with about 32 hits. So not bad at all. And now we're going to move on to the next fight here. This one is just to showcase, this is a spiked armor node. So you don't want to crit against these opponents. Otherwise, you're going to take damage back. But we're not going to watch this whole clip. I just wanted to highlight that Crossbones never crits. So you don't have to worry about that in these clips. And instead of critting, he would then get a Fury buff. That's kind of his way to ramp up his damage without crits. And so you just want to continue to build those Furies, throw your heavy attacks, and refresh and pause the Furies as much as you can. And then his special 3 actually gives him a temporary critical rate increase, so you can stack Furies a bit faster. This next fight is against Wasp. She has a very annoying evade mechanic. This is also a stun immune matchup, so you can still use Crossbones in stun immune matchups if you can get good at baiting out heavies and then punishing with your own heavy attack, as well as countering their special attacks with a heavy attack. I messed up the timing there, so I went to throw a special 1 to save it, and it actually almost made things worse. But we're going to get some counters in this clip here, and we're stacking up the Furies. We do, I think we did lose 1 or 2, but now we've paused them, and then we can go back into Overrun here. We're going to dash back when it's safe and get those Furies refreshed and stack up a few more. And then we're going to punish with a heavy attack after this special 1, and then we're going to run right back in, do some hits, and throw off the special 1 to get some more Furies. And we're just over 20 hits in this matchup now. We're going to wait for an opening, and actually we might just finish it off into the block. So he deals a lot of damage into the block. Even though he doesn't crit through the block, he gets so much damage from those Furies that he does do a lot of damage through the block as well. Now this one I wanted to highlight, Particle Protector, Size Mattered, and Micro Reflect. So without the right champions, the attacks you do are going to deal a lot of damage back to you because they'll glance and you'll take a lot of damage. But once you get those Furies up, Crossbones completely ignores it. It does not matter. You do not take any damage back as long as you keep enough Furies up to completely turn off the ability accuracy node, or enough ability accuracy to turn off the node, which would be 4 if you have contempt against the opponent, or 5 if it's a villain, or without the synergy for extending it beyond heroes, then it would be any non-hero champion. But Crossbones can be very effective against not just hero champions, but all non-villain champions if you have the right synergy. And then even against villain champions in the right scenarios, you can still use Crossbones very effectively. So he can just completely turn off very annoying nodes. And this is going to be a magic with Energized. And we can completely turn off her limbo when we push her past a bar of power. This node does prevent us from getting buffs at the start of the fight, so I'm waiting that out before I go into Overrun. But this ability to very easily and quickly turn off pretty much any node or ability is very, very useful, and Crossbones does a really good job at it. He can do it very quick and very easily, and he can maintain it throughout the fight. Really, the main synergy is MCOC to extend the Fury duration. And then if you want to apply it to not just the hero champions, but any non-villain champions, you can throw in the Hitmonkey, or I think it's the Yondu synergy that will allow you. There's another one as well, I think, but they weren't as good of a champion. And you know, Hitmonkey's not a bad champion at all. MCOC's kind of but if you want to clear a lane with Crossbones, he definitely has the utility to do so, especially Awaken. You can shrug off debuffs and the damage as well. The longer the fight goes, the more damage he gets. And these fights, they're ending so fast in like 20 to 30 hits. So that's all I have for you today for Crossbones. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I hope to see you in the next video.